Some wins feel better than others. They just do. Bukayo, is that as good as it gets?
Nah, it's unbelievable, man. Late winners, nothing better in football, so speechless, man. I'm so happy.
So what were that sort of last 20 minutes like for you? Because obviously, coming back from injury, you're on the bench by that point.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, when you're on the bench and you can't control and affect the game, but, you know, when you have guys like this guy, you know, he's a big threat, and obviously Big Gabby as well.
A big sip of water there.
You know, like I was saying, you know, I have big trust in my teammates, and, you know, we got the win today, so happy days.
Go on then, Mikel. Give us an insight into your emotions, scoring and then obviously winning it late on.
Yeah, I mean, as Bukayo says, it's unbelievable to win these kind of games. Late winners are the best, but obviously from my perspective, it's even greater. Like, I mean, coming back here is always big for me, big memories, amazing place in my life. But also being able to score and help the team coming on as a sub is incredible. And yeah, I mean, it couldn't be better to win in the last minute. And yeah, congrats to all the boys.
Yeah, do you know what? I forgot that for a second, that you used to play here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes it more special, I guess.
Yeah, it is very special. Always coming here is great to see all faces, all friends. I've had amazing memories here. I've only been here for 1 year, but still is a big part of my life, of my career. And yeah, to come here and score a winner, I had that again in the same goal as I scored for Newcastle a couple of years ago. It's magical.
Bukayo, does it feel a bit like a curse has been broken today? Because even 1-0 down at half-time, it almost felt for a few years like it didn't matter what you did here. Somehow it just went their way.
Yeah, and obviously there's a few things we can speak about. For example, the penalty, you know, for me, like, if we have VAR, it's for clear and obvious error. And the fact that it took the ref that long to decide, you know, it shows it's not a clear and obvious error. But it's things like this, you know, these little things that always go against us. But I think today we got what we deserved, for sure. And yeah, that's why we're all so happy.
Yeah, I saw your face, actually, when the penalty was overturned. I mean, to be fair, he does get a little bit on it, the goalkeeper, but you were stunned, I think.
Speechless, man, but doesn't matter now, does it?
It doesn't matter now. Mikel, what does this do early in the season? It just feels like a bit of a swing weekend. Like, I think a lot of people, you know, guys like me, you go into the weekend, Arsenal could be 8 points back, you're 2.
Yeah, I mean, maybe more for the fans or for you guys than for us. We know the hard work we've been putting on, the kind of performances that we've been creating as well, and obviously winning the way we won today shows the character of the team, how much we trust each other, how confident we are, and that doesn't change, doesn't matter the results. So we're confident, we have an amazing team, an amazing squad, an amazing staff, obviously an amazing fans. So yeah, we're ready for it.
Well done. Thank you very much. Well done, guys.
Sorry, in a sense, you weren't hanging on like loads of saves and clearances and last-ditch tackles. I didn't feel that way, but we're trying to work out who's playing where, because at one point there was nearly 4 or 5 centre-halves on the pitch, who's playing in what position. And that's what disappoints me with the winning goal. You know, Lascelles came off the bench, who's a big guy. Osula came off the bench. So you're adding more height to the team. You know, you've already got, you know, Chow, Botman, Dan Burn. You know, you've got a big team there. So disappointing that realistically just like a straightforward corners come in from Ødegaard. Good delivery, don't get me wrong, but...
What's the goalkeeper's view of this like then?
Well, I feel like I hear the shout off, Nick, and I know there's someone challenging him. Is it Saliba perhaps on the keeper? I can't really see.
Yes, it is Saliba.
It is Saliba, yeah. And he just blocks him.
Blocking.
But it's not a foul, it's not enough, to be honest. And Arsenal are very clever at this. But I don't know if Dan Burns ducked out of it, but because he heard...
He couldn't get off the ground.
No, but he heard Pope shouting.
Yeah, maybe.
It was definitely a clear shout from Pope.
I think, Shay, it does, from a goalkeeper's point of view, has he got to make sure that he gets disengaged from where Saliba is, because that is so close. If you're not going to get the Dan Burns and the Botmans going and attacking that, the goalkeeper has to surely, from where that's gone in the goal, he's got to be at least getting a punch on that.
That's the frustrating thing. You know, Saliba's very clever, so it's difficult. Doesn't matter how big you are, right, as a goalkeeper. If the defender's strong, it's hard to get round him sometimes. And I think that's what he's done. But I think Pope did shout, and he maybe shouted early, and then Saliba's come in late and sort of blocked his path. Right. And I think the shout has sort of took Dan Burn, thinking, I'm just going to keep this Arsenal player out of the way, and Nick Pope's going to come and deal with it. But of course, it's a brilliant jump from Gabriel. Delivery was good, and they've taken the points.
Yeah, and as you say, Newcastle will have known what's coming. They will have worked on it. We saw those statistics there since August 2023. I mean, look at the difference between the next best Chelsea and Spurs.
Honestly, again, it comes down to the service there. Shay, you can be testament to it. No goalkeeper, if you've not got defenders who's going to attack that, is comfortable with the ball coming there. No one. That's such a great ball into the box. So Gabriel does what he does. You know, he gets in there and he makes sure he gets something on it. It's a brilliant, brilliant goal.
Now, at 1-1, you were hoping Newcastle would hold out. At 1-1, right, he was actually asking the Lord, weren't you, to do something for divine intervention here.
There's a Sunday.
Sometimes you just have to go to a higher place when you need what you need.
Is that where you were?
Oh, jeepers.
Oh, so...
It's two different reactions there, aren't there?
I'm so sorry, everybody at home. I'm so sorry. We have to win this!
We knew that. The scowl on Shay's face towards you just makes it even better.
There's always two sides to every story, isn't there? The sadness of conceding a late winner, and of course the joy that it brought to Righty's face.
I'm just really pleased with the guys who I work here with on a regular basis last season when they see how I act. But it's not for anything other than pure joy, because we needed to win this game so badly, Steve.
So let's get serious a minute.
Yes.
I mean, that's the type of thing champions do, isn't it, really?
Well, I think you look at last season, there were so many opportunities where Liverpool, we had to get into a game where you put pressure on Liverpool for something. We either drew the game...
Yeah, they couldn't do it, could they?
We couldn't do it. We'd never done too many... I think the last time we'd done anything like this where we needed to win something in the death, I think it was Bournemouth a few seasons ago. But this is a game where we went in and I think we started very well. I thought we started very well. We had chances. But once they went 1-0 up, it was a game we had to play back in and get ourselves back into the game, make sure we don't lose it, and if we can, win it, because that's what we have to do to send the message to whoever's at the top, that we're not going to go away and we will dig in as far as we need to win these games to try and win this league finally.
Yeah, that will have been severely noted on Merseyside.
Absolutely, because what you want them to, what the message you want to give them is, you know, we're coming and we're going to be here. So, yes, you're 5 points clear, but now you're 2. You lost your game against Palace. We have to now take advantage of that, and we've done that. That's why even if a point would have been a little bit... It wouldn't have been enough for me, even though you'd have to take it. 3 points is what we needed to do today, and I'm just hoping that in that dressing room they realise that, how important it is to make sure that they take advantage of these slip-ups if they do happen.
If you're in the Newcastle dressing room, though, having seen it happen against Liverpool and then against Arsenal, to take nothing from the game, having given all that effort, it'll be a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, it'll be very tough when you see Eddie walking around the pitch after. I think that's the frustration. You know, Arsenal have got quality all over their squad, they have, and they're good enough to open you up, Steve, and play an amazing thing is, and they work at attacking corners, but they work at defensive side of things as well. And that's the most frustrating thing. You know, we spoke about Eze and Cole beforehand. Ødegaard comes off the bench. Saka, they've got some brilliant players, haven't they, Arsenal? And they can open you up and you go, we were beaten by a better team. They were a better team today, but we were beaten by an unbelievable goal. There's not much we could have done about that. But it's so frustrating that it feels just like a comfortable enough delivery into the box. Gabriel heads it in, and it's as you say, all that hard work, you know, and effort, and I think Tino Livramento looked like a bad injury as well. So it's a tough day for Newcastle to concede so late.
You know, the bench as well for us, Shay. The bench is vital for us in what we're going to try and achieve this season. And we've already seen on a few occasions, we've seen Martin Ødegaard, we've seen Trossard, we've seen Merino now. They're coming off the bench and they're making a difference. Ødegaard coming off the bench making a difference. We're able to now be able to take someone like Saka off and bring Martin Ødegaard on, and, you know, people making differences off the bench. And that's what it's going to probably take. It's going to take that for us. And sometimes the manager's going to get the selection right, but then he's got the players on the bench where he can maybe change it around. And I think people need to have a little bit more patience with some of the decisions the manager makes and see once it's done if the players can justify the decisions he's made so as we can win games.
Yeah, because with that squad depth that he wants comes added issues and problems, doesn't it, in terms of getting the right 11 for each game.
Yeah, and pressure as well, because, like, there's a lot of talk now with people, with the manager saying, well, you've got the team you want. Spent a lot of money to get this team and assemble this team. We're talking about it, Shay. So now there's not too many more chances you can get in respect of making it happen with a squad that's capable of doing it. So he's now got to manoeuvre those players and get them into the position, whether they're playing off, coming off the bench, to deliver when they come on, because this is the year, I think, to deliver.
The backroom staff, I'm not sure I've seen a 6th Premier League game of the season ever celebrated bigger than that. That's how important that game was. And it was to do with their football that they penned Newcastle in. It was to do with their spirit. It was to do with their emotional control. And more than anything, they had to believe in it. And with seconds to go, they still believe they could get a win. That's massive for them.
Tim, at half-time, you thought they'd come back and win 2-1. But as the second half was evolving, did you keep the faith?
Well, they have shown me that they're willing to continue to drive the extra mile. I mean, not just going that way. Declan Rice, he's a 6 or a double 6. There are times in the game, and we saw it, where they're piling forward, and he's the one that says, I'll get it. I'll get in a foot race, and I'll track all the way back. So they do that as a group. And look, Mikel Merino, there's something about this guy. He's not really a striker. He's not a classy stroke it around the park midfielder. He just has a knack for getting in the right places, and he shows that every time that the manager puts him on the field.
To your point back, so about, you know, did we believe as the game's going? I think the most was like, I'm not an Arsenal player, I'm not an Arsenal fan. It doesn't really matter what we think. If that group in there, if they'll be in the dressing room now and they'll believe, and that will give them another reason to believe. And this was a big kind of what-if game for Arsenal. What if they don't get the job done? Are they really in a title race? They've shown that they're going to push and they're going to go as far as they can. Do
you think it could be a turning point for them, that today?
Yeah.
The way it happened as much as anything else, Tim?
I think so. I also think that as much as we're all probably on the outside, like, wanting this Arsenal team to go full throttle from the beginning of the game all the time, I just don't think that's who they are. That is who they are. There's enough quality in the end and enough belief to have to grind out results when they need to and play well in other games. So I think they've always had that belief. I'm not sure if it's a turning point per se, but they're certainly have Liverpool in their sights.
A word for Newcastle United, who've had a couple of moments this season, tough ones. I can think about the one against Liverpool and then today. What do you think is not quite working for them to hold on to leads and to pick up more points, Robbie?
Well, today, a little bit of game management. As you say, if the goalkeeper hands onto the ball, you know, they get a point. They're still bedding players in. Anthony Gordon, I think, disrupted things when he was suspended. Nick Woltemade has shown that he can get goals if they get service. So there's still parts for the Eddie Howe's team to come together. I think defensively they're pretty strong. I like the midfield three. But there's still work to do. And at home, when they get settled, they'll still be a threat.
I mean, it seems crazy and easy to say, but, like, what you just said, they're getting players back. Woltemade looks like he can get goals. Defensively, yes, they are sound like... They sit 15th. I think when we're here in May talking about Newcastle, they're up in 6th or 7th place.
Yeah, Newcastle United sitting, as you say, in 15th right now. Arsenal up to 2nd. Let's take you back to...
Right then, fasten your seatbelts. Newcastle 1-0. Lots to get through. But 13 minutes in, Arsenal awarded an on-field penalty. This back pass from Jacob Murphy. Luckily, we have a striker and a goalkeeper with us. So, striker, go first. Clear penalty for you?
For me, I'm probably giving that. I can't see any clear and obvious in that, to be honest, in respects of, you know, like, he's through here, Steve. The keeper's, he's not coming to tackle him. He's coming to try and block the ball. He's going to try and flick over him. Look, he's not aiming to try and tackle him. The ball's hit him, you know? Look, he's just trying to plant his foot. It's not trying to tackle. He's totally impeded him.
Which was the referee's on-field interpretation at the time.
Yes, they shouldn't have overturned that. He's not trying to tackle him. The ball's over there. He's just trying to put his foot down. So annoying.
A reminder what they said on-field after the VAR, the referee overturned the original decision of penalty to Arsenal. The announcement, after review, the Newcastle goalkeeper plays the ball and there is no foul. And the final decision is drop ball.
Does he play the ball?
Right. Shay, from the goalkeeper's point of view, live, what did you think?
I thought it was a penalty when I seen it.
Right.
I'm not saying it is a penalty. I thought it was a penalty when I seen it live. So what I would say is I don't think it's a clear and obvious error from the referee. I think he's seen it with his own eyes. You can see him in the top of your picture. That looks like a penalty. I think that everyone else...
So Shay, you're saying the referee's seen that he's touched that then?
No, the ref hasn't seen that.
The ref hasn't seen that.
He's given the penalty.
He's given a penalty, so he doesn't think Pope's touched the ball at all. Now, the Darren England and VAR have said you need to come to the picture, the side of the pitch. He's got a touch on the ball, Nick Pope. I don't know the exact laws of the game, but he has touched the ball, Nick Pope. But then there's still a coming together after that. Does that still award a penalty? I don't know.
I'm saying. It just feels.
I don't know.
It just feels like someone. So that means goalie, as long as you get some clip on it or some touch on it, Shay, you can take someone out.
What I definitely would agree with is it's definitely not a clear and obvious error by the referee. He's thought it's a penalty. We thought it's a penalty.
In your opinion, he shouldn't have been sent to the screen.
Well, that's not clear and obvious error for me.
I didn't think he should have been sent to the screen.
OK. Now then, from the corner given away by Mosquera, it was double punishment for Arsenal.
It was double punishment because Arsenal were the better team, no doubt, first half. Pope made some great saves, but it's a mistake, obviously, from Mosquera giving it away. And we did mention before the hand, defending corners because of the height that Newcastle have. Of course, Sandro Tonali's a great delivery into the box, and Woltemade, who said is 6'6", he's going to get your fair share of goals inside the box. Now, from a defensive point of view, Arsenal, I think, can do better. They should send an extra man out. I think Eze should come across. Trossard can cover the edge of the box. Yeah. And then maybe Sandro doesn't get the cross in. We'll circle Woltemade as well. He spins around the back again. Gabriel's looking for a foul. Steve, it's never a foul for me. He gets a touch in the back. It's just a bit of a coming together. But your big, strong centre-half cannot be going to ground on that. I think it's the perfect goal for me. And another brilliant header from the big man.
Yeah, it's a very good header. Yeah, there's a lot. I totally agree with Shay with all that analysis, really. I think probably the biggest disappointment is that Gabby, I think he's got to be in that instance, in that particular part of the area, he's just got to go and attack that as best he can. Obviously, Woltemade's 6'6". If it's too high for him, fine, but it felt like as soon as he got the touch, he went down maybe to get the foul. And I don't think you're ever going to get the foul like that. I don't think he pushed him like last season.
Newcastle lead, but only after Arsenal had a penalty appeal turned down. Now, I'm assuming you're quite conflicted here, Les, because while you want Newcastle to win, you're looking at this from a centre-forward's perspective.
Yeah, I am, and it's a great touch. And when I first saw it, I shouted, I think Pope gets a touch. Maybe that was out of willing more than anything else. But then it goes through. He does get a touch, and my understanding is, as a centre forward, I probably want the penalty. But my understanding is, once the goalkeeper gets a touch and he deviates the ball, it's not a penalty, because I don't know what Pope can do there.
Yeah, I think he gets a touch, but I'm not sure it's enough to negate, the foul. I think, and I'm amazed that got overturned. I have to be honest. I know what you're saying, Les. I think when you look at that one, we saw one last week with Sanchez and then Burmo when Sanchez got sent off. Even though he got a touch, he still fouls the player, and that's my feelings with it. You can see Gyökeres just anticipates it, gets away from him, and he definitely clears him out. I can see both sides of it, but I think I was surprised it got overturned. And interesting that it was the referee went for an on-field review rather than the VAR overturned it on what the on-field decision. But then Mosquera gives away the corner in quite a strange circumstance. Sloppy, yeah, and they've been so good, Arsenal. I thought for 36 minutes, 36, they were fantastic, and then they just play a really clever short corner. Play it back in. Voldemort, Les, I'm going to leave this to you.
Yeah, Voldemort, I mean, I looked at it, and when I first looked at it, I saw Gabriel go down. I thought, oh, no, he's put two hands in his back. But then when I look at it again, when Gabriel sees this, he'll be embarrassed.
Yeah, it's too weak.
He'll be embarrassed when he sees that.
And that's just in front of us. In real time, it did look like there'd been a push.
Yeah, and because and I think it looked like there was a push because all the players started appealing for it. But then when you see it again, you think,
yeah, and then there was a little bit of afters, Les, as well.
Yeah, I know.
That's a liberty. He should have got booked for that.
He should have done that at the beginning. He may have stopped the goals, you know what I mean? But
and what about, in terms of the header, Les? We were talking before how important it is for him to get off to a good start. That's huge for him, isn't it?
That's his second goal here, and it's two headers. One of the things he's not really noted for, because you look at his size and you expect him to head the ball a bit more. He's not noted for it, but he took that really, really well.
Yeah, only one headed goal across the whole of last season. That's two for Newcastle.
That's what happens when you get that number 9 shirt on here.
Yeah.
Gives you a superpower.
Maybe that's what happens when you get the crosses into you and you get the kind of set pieces working. Eddie Howe talked about the importance of them and how crucial they could be in this game. Just shows one more headed goal in the Premier League than you, Jamie. 39 to go until he gets to your record, Les. But as things stand...